Okay, my friends and I will be going to talk about Bastille Day in French. Bastille Day is actually a common English term for French National Day, but French people did not call their National Day as Bastille Day. So, what do you think French people call their National Day in French? Basically, there are actually two terms that French people call it. The first one is La Fête Nationale, which is mean French National Day, and the second one, the 14 de Juillet, the 14th of July. This is because Bastille Day was celebrated on 14 July every year since 1789. On 14 July, there are actually two events that happen, which is French National Day and French Revolution. For French National Day, Fête Nationale, it is an anniversary of storming of the Bastille that happened on 14 July 1789. And for the French Revolution, Fête de la Fédération, it is a celebration to celebrate the unity of the French people on 14 July 1790. These both celebrations are held throughout France every year on 14 July. Before we go more about the history of the Bastille, first, let's learn what is the Bastille. The Bastille is actually a structure constructed to protect the city of Paris from attack by the English. It was built on 1300s and it's 100 feet tall and surrounded by an 80-foot wide moat. However, later, the fortress, a symbol of the King Louis XVI's rule, was used as a prison mainly for more wealthy felons and spies. The history and the French Revolution. The revolution actually went well for the people, but not so much for the king and his queen. Bastille Day is to celebrate the action of a mob of Frenchmen, also called the Bastille, that tired of the rule of their king who stormed a prison to get weapons and free prisoners. Besides holding gunpowder and other supply valuable to the revolutionary, the Bastille also symbolized the colorless tyranny of the French monarchy, especially the King Louis and his Queen Marie Antoinette. Because of the French Revolution, a new document grew out of this revolution. This new document is served as a constitution and proclaim the right of French citizens. This new document is called as a Declaration of the Right of a Man and of the Citizen. King Louis XVI and Queen Marie Antoinette, after inheriting tremendous debt from his predecessor, they start to continue to spend extravagantly, such as by helping the American colony to win their independence from the British. However, by the late 1780s, French government stood on the brink of economic disaster. To make matters worse, widespread crop failure in 1788 brought about a nationwide famine. This caused the price of bread rose so high, unemployment and the violent food riot began breaking out across the French. In an attempt to resolve the crisis, Louis XVI summoned the Long-Dornum Estates General, the National Assembly, divided by social classes into three orders, which are clergy, nobility, and commoner. Then, on June 20, 1789, they took an oath, famous thereafter as the Tennis Court Oath. The storming on the Bastille continued when many nobles and clergymen crossed over to join the National Assembly. Then, on July 11, the king dismissed the popular and reforming Jack Necker his only non-noble minister. However, this caused protesting crowds pour into Paris street the following day, harassing the royalist soldiers so much that they withdraw from the city. This continued on the morning of July 14, when an unruly mob seized roughly 32,000 muskets and some cannon from the Hotel des Invalides, a military hospital, prior to turning its sight on a large quantity of gunpowder stored in the Bastille. The Avenue de Lune, the government of the Bastille, was in the dread as a large and a growing mob of angry revolutionists surrounded the fortress on July 14. Upon receiving a demand to surrender, he invited revolutionary delegates inside to negotiate. Lacking any direct order from Louis XVI, he purportedly received them warmly and promised not to open fire. Yet, as the talk dragged on, people outside grew restlessly and started to attack the Bastille, and nearly 100 attackers died in the onslaught and dozens of others were wounded. The Lune, who lacked adequate provision for a long-term siege, waved the white flag of surrender. The bloodthirsty crowd separated the Lune from his escort and murdered him before cutting off his head, displaying it on a pig and parading it around the city. A few other royalist soldiers were also butchered, foreshadowing the terrifying bloodshed that would play a large role during and after the French Revolution. After the Revolution, on October 1789 onward, Louis XVI was sent to the guillotine a few years later. Marie Antoinette beheading followed shortly afterward. So, Bastille Day today, or known as La Fête Nationale or Le 4 Juillet, is a public holiday in France. During that day, attendants will see French tricolor flag, hear the French motto Liberté, Égalité and Fraternité, Liberty, Equality and Fraternity, and they will also sing a song, the national song, La Marseillaise.
Bastille Day traditions. The military parade. The military parade is one of the main events during Bastille Day. The parade is the largest and the oldest event in Europe. The French troops march in a lavish display from the Arc de Triomphe down to the Place de la Concorde for over 2 hours. Alongside the parade, people cheered. The parade involved over 4,200 soldiers, 220 vehicles and 100 aircraft as the occasion for the French president to honor the foreign guests. The public dance. The public dance is actually a public ball on the 13th and 14th of July. The dancing starts around 9 p.m. and goes as late as 4 a.m. Firework display. The main event of Bastille Day is the firework display. The firework displays are popular in many places across the country at night. The event sometimes accompanied by the concerts and other events like community meals. Bastille Day's attire. The attire for Bastille Day is not determined, but most of them will encourage the guests to wear blue, white, and red, the three colors of the French flag. Bastille Day's food. During the Bastille Day, the French will serve all the French-related foods. For example, they will serve classic appetizers like salmon roulettes and salad nicoise. They also serve French wines such as Brut de Blanc de Blanc, Rouge, and V. This is how the traditions during Bastille Day is celebrated.